Good evening. My name is Starlight Skies, and I talk about marketing and business in the game industry. Out of all my videos on this channel, I think that this is going to be the most important topic at this present time. Us game developers have this narrative that we say to each other, and I think it's about time that we have a realistic look at what is going around us and start to make a change, because what I see every day isn't working out for most of us. It is not enough to make a fun game if you want to make a living off games. Even if you have a publisher, they are not magic. They won't be able to fix all your problems. If this is your game, then it's up to you to make it successful. No one else is going to care about it as much as you do. There is no platforms, there is no content creators, there is no algorithm that's going to magically blow up your game. You're going to have to make smart decisions every step of the way to increase the likelihood of it becoming more successful. So just think about that. Let it sink in. We talk about how to make games, but we don't talk about the business behind making a studio. And I think that's really important. All developers who do know how to make a business have an overwhelming advantage over those who are just making what they want. Not every game is sellable because we have an oversaturated market. And when I say sellable, I mean, it's not like you don't know how to make a fun game. You probably do know how to make a fun game. We have so many games already out there, and we have games from the past, and we also have other activities that we can be doing. So is your game worth it for people to play, for them to spend money on? That's what we're going to talk about today. My goal on this channel is to talk about how to make the game industry more sustainable, and hopefully that will lead to more stable businesses and families. And when I say stable businesses, I mean making individuals more stable financially. My solution here is just my opinion, for sure, but it is based off years of research and experience. And I totally understand if you don't agree with this, because there are definitely exceptions to this, for sure. Absolutely. However, I do believe that we need some sort of guidance, some foundation to work on, like some kind of solution. So this is, after years of thinking about it, what I've come up with. For me, there are two paths that I think that indie developers should go on. The first one is hobby game development. You make what you want, you don't have to answer to anyone. You are just making a game for the fun of it. The moment you start to have expectations of monetary gain, you add a whole nother level of complexity. The biggest benefit of just making a game as a hobby is freedom. You don't have to finish it. You don't have to put it on any platforms. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter how broken it is. And you can just make it something personal for yourself. If you get tired of it, you can just start another one, because you have no obligations to anyone. It's simply creating art without the pressure. With commercial games, there is a lot of pressure. You may have a team, publishers, friends, and families that are all expecting the game. And since there is money involved, it's not just a creative outlet, it is now a business. And just making a game is not enough to make money. There is a lot of people who just have hobbies. People who do art, do things like rock climbing, or do photography, do music, learn different languages, and they're just doing it for fun, creative enjoyment. And I believe that we should talk about this narrative more, because I've heard too many developers that think that making a game automatically means that the game has to be a product. If you're a developer, that means you have to sell it. And that's not necessarily true. I think we should be open to that idea more. So the second path I believe that indie developers should go on, or could go on, is becoming a commercial game developer. And this is someone who studies the market, sees what people are buying, and then makes an informed decision on what kind of games they are making. If you've seen my other videos, you know when I say the market, I mean the public, the ones that you will expect to buy your game. In order to become successful to the point where you become stable financially, you will have to reach a pretty large audience. So a lot of developers are so focused on the game, they're thinking about the mechanics, the story, the engine, but they're not thinking about the strangers out there that are experiencing the game without you there to talk to them, without you there explaining the game. Commercial developers know how to reach that audience. They are not just making a fun game, they are creating an experience that resonates with others. So how do you know what people are going to like? How do they figure that out? Is that they do research and they make something that they know is going to get a lot of attention. And they get attention through getting like hundreds of likes on tweets, getting an article written about it, or maybe being part of a bigger showcase. People don't want to buy mediocre games. You don't want to buy mediocre games. You want to buy games that are exceptional and cool and interesting. If you're going to spend money towards something, you're going to want to spend that money on something that, you know, is worth your time. Commercial game developers also have connections within the industry and talk to others who have studios, and also businesses that support game developers, like lawyers, events, platforms, and even companies that make merchandise as examples. They are not in a bubble just doing something on their own. I've talked to a lot of people who they just passively look at things on Reddit or just Google things themselves, but they're not part of any communities. And people like commercial game developers, we talk to each other. Me personally, I am friends with a lot of people who run studios and publishing. So if I have a question, I just DM them directly, and that's how I get a lot of the information. I personally believe that anyone can become a commercial game developer. It's just all about your priorities. Like, what do you want as a developer, as a creative, as a person? Like, what works best in your life? Most developers know that you can make money using the same skills in other industries with a lot less stress. So you can have a day job and just make games for fun. Or is it like your absolute dream to make games full-time, even with all the obstacles? I want this channel to help point out and explain strategies of how to overcome some of these obstacles. Like, I am here for both kinds of developers, ones who just want to make games for fun, but also those who want to be a commercial game developer. And I will be making videos in the future of like how to talk to publishers, talking to content creators, an example of how to build a pipeline, and also like what you should be thinking about when you want to start a studio. So if you're interested in that, I hope you stay tuned. Right. So there is a third path that you can go on as a developer, but I highly recommend avoiding it. I call it the death road. It's when you are making a hobby game, but you're acting like it's a commercial game. I'm not trying to scare anyone here, but it's highly probable that it's not going to work compared to developers who have contacts and resources that you may not even know existed. But many developers are just focused on making the game, but they don't have the structure they need to make a sustainable business. I know I'm repeating this a lot, but like I really have to nail down this repetition because this is just not something I hear a lot. So this might be the first time someone out there is hearing this. This causes a lot of frustration and stress when you don't plan out things ahead of time. The industry has changed a lot over the years, and many narratives developers talk to each other about just aren't working anymore. We need to talk about more practical ways of building studios because I truly believe that this will help take us on the right path to a more sustainable game industry. The game industry is huge and it's only going to get bigger. There are plenty of gamers who are looking for different kinds of experiences. So I just want to let you know that you don't have to sacrifice your creativity. You can make a commercial game, but also be satisfied with making whatever it is that you want to make. It is possible. You just have to find that idea that is both like people want to play and also you want to make. So you can make games however you want. Just ask yourself, like, what is right for you? As a marketer, I can't sell every game. There is no miracle that I can do if people just aren't interested. There is no way that you can ever force anyone to buy your game. It's up to you as a developer to think about your intentions and execute something that will be attractive to the audience that you're going for. So just to let you know, I do have a consultation service, so if you're interested on getting more custom advice for your game, I will put a link to that below. Let me know what you think about this video and this idea of hobby versus commercial game development, and maybe any other thoughts or experiences that you have. I'd like to know. Yeah. I'm Starlight Skies, and I'll see you in the next video.